So I start recording. Okay, let's start.
Okay, thanks Anna for the quick introduction, and thanks for the whole GDG Allen team. You guys are doing really great job, and thanks for again giving me this opportunities to help and understand people to know more about what is Vertex AI, and even before jumping into what is Vertex AI, I'll be talking more about the basics because I believe like basics are something that we need to really touch base on even before jumping into the complex concepts, and that's one of the reason why you might see a lot of slides which really talks about the foundational stuffs. So that's the quick thing that I would be covering. Along with that, at the end I'll be covering what is Vertex AI as well. So yeah, so today's topic is hands-on with Vertex AI Studio, and a quick introduction about what is generative AI. When I say hands-on, I'll try to see if I can show you how Vertex AI portal looks like and see if we can do some kind of prompt management or do some kind of model training. But I'll try to keep it more of it on the Vertex AI part. Yeah, so yeah, thanks again for everyone for joining today's session. A quick introduction about myself. I'm Santosh Kumar Perumal. I'm based out of London, United Kingdom, and I carry around 10 years of IT experience. And currently, I work for Tata Consulting Services as a senior Google Cloud engineer. So I help client in my current role. I help client to migrate to Google Cloud, adopt open source projects, and mainly I focus on my specialization is mainly on DevOps and cloud, and that's one of the reason why I'm focusing more on Google Cloud. That is one thing, and apart from my career or my current professional role, I also help the community to learn new technologies, not just help them to learn. I also learn from people like you. That's one of the reason I'm very close to community, because I believe in the universal truth. Sharing and learning from each other is one of the greatest thing that you can learn when compared to learning from a book or going through a video. I feel really comfortable when I work along with the community people, and because of my engagement towards community, I'm also part of the prestigious program called Google Developer Expert GDE, and I'm a GDE for Google Cloud, and I also run a couple of I organize a couple of meetups in London. So I'm also a lead organizer for Cloud Native Computing Foundation for Westminster, London. Along with my GDG activities, I also help and understand people about open source projects like Kubernetes, Prometheus, and a couple of other open source projects that come under CNCF. And also, I'm a CD Foundation ambassador and Apache Airflow champion, where I try to highlight the importance of tools like Airflow when it comes to data pipeline management and a couple of other things. So this is a quick introduction about myself. So going to today's agenda, so we'll be starting with uh, basics about what is AI and what is ML, what are the different types of ML learning, then couple of other things about how the model evolution took place. When I say model evolution, we'll be mainly focusing on foundational models. There are a couple of different models, but the models that we'll be mainly focusing on all the is the foundational model and specific to Google foundational model. And finally, we are going to see a platform, which is a platform as a service to train or develop your model within Google Cloud for any of the cloud engineer or data science engineer if they want to start training a model or deploying the model, testing it. So there is a particular PaaS service within Google Cloud, and they call it as Vertex AI. And we are going to see a brief on that, and also I'm going to show you from the Google Cloud console how Vertex AI Studio will look like and what are all the options that are available. And yeah, let's jump in quickly. What is AI? So, in a nutshell, AI is the superset of everything. When I say superset of everything, we do hear a lot of buzzing words. We have AI, ML, deep learning, and then you name it, like everything is new now, and some of them are coming as a new term, and some are existing from long time. But what is actually AI? Even before going to what is Gen AI, we need to think about AI. So I would say AI is a superset, which is nothing but you're trying to create a system by mimicking something like how it can pretend or it can predict as a human, and you use pre-trained program to help to achieve this. But the only thing that I would highlight here, you are pre-programming something here. So, and for every use case, it is not going to be the same. It When I say for every use case, it is not going to be same. If I say if I'm going to train a system or an artificial intelligence system for a use case, let's say we are going to train a system for a travel booking system as a chatbot, and we are going to pre-train it with set of rules. And in case if you want to get some responses, or if you want to query something with this travel chatbot out of a different context, if I'm asking the travel chatbot about a movie, so it is altogether a different use case. So it is not generic, and it is pre-trained for a specific use case. So in this scenario, it is not going to give you that kind of an answer. It is only trained to be or behave or respond like a travel chatbot. So that's the main key thing I would highlight here when it comes to artificial intelligence. Then how things changed by by looking into other concepts like machine learning or generative AI. Let's see how AI is helping to do that, and how machine learning or generative AI is different when compared to the AI era. So there are a lot of things that people get confused. Sometimes people say ML is same as AI. Sometimes they say ML is completely different of AI. But ML is correct, is not exactly same as AI. That is true. But the one important thing that everyone has to accept or everyone has to understand is ML is a part of AI. As I said earlier, AI is a superset and ML is a subset. So when we say it's a subset, it derives some of the properties of AI, and it is also very different in its own. And how it is different when it comes to AI, how ML is different. So when we say ML, it is called as machine learning, and as I mentioned, machine learning is a subset of AI. But unlike what we spoke about AI, where we are designing it to a specific use case, ML is something that completely different, where you're not designing it with a specific use case. Instead, you're training on a data. So there, where we saw about a chatbot, we are not going to train anything. We are just, making it to work for a specific use case with the predefined rules basis on the input. But here, when it comes to machine learning, you're training a machine with the help of data that you have, and here you are training with huge amount of data, and the data can be of any type. The data can be of a text, or it can be a video, or it can be a audio, and you're training it to make it work for different kind of inputs. And when I say different kind of inputs, it is not common or it is not specific. uh, it depends again the model that you are trying to build. If it is a generic model, we call it as large language models are one of the you know foundational models which are quite generic. Before going to model or large language, just think it as a system or a machine which you're training against a large data set or with the data of different type. And how it is different, unlike how AI, it depends on it is pre-trained. Here the algorithm is not, it's not required or necessary for you to keep on training. Instead, it keeps on learning by itself on the basis of the input that you keep on providing to the model. So it is keep on learning as you keep on giving the data, and it gets better day by day. I would give you just a small analogy. Like, let's say you have a glass of you have a bottle of milk, and you wanted to test whether the milk is good or bad. So what you do initially, see the expiry date if it is packed milk, and you'll see next, if it is within the dates, you'll see whether the milk is having some smell. Then the next level, you will go and see, you'll try to heat the milk, and you'll see whether if it is forming a different texture, or if it is giving a different odor or smell. So what you are doing here is, on the basis of your past experience, you are trying to arrive at a solution saying that the milk is good or bad. You did lot of different checks, starting from checking the expiry date, where it involves the data, which is a number. Then you're checking the texture of the milk, which is again a visual input. Likewise, machine learning uses multiple patterns. It keeps on it keeps on going, traversing through these kind of different patterns, or I would say different layers, and it decides on the basis of the data that it gets, or the output that it can compare throughout this pattern. So that is one thing which I would say a better analogy that to compare or understand about what is machine learning. And within machine learning, there are different types. One is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Supervised is something that uh, think like you are making a children to sit in a room, and you're showing them each and every object like a fruit. You, let's say you're showing them apple and saying that this is apple, and you name them as apple. Next you show a mango and you name them as mango. So you are labeling each and every fruit, and you're teaching the children. So whenever data is associated with a label, it is called as a supervised machine learning. Or the other way, if it has no labels and you're just you know telling that it is apple by showing it, it is like there's no data associated with it, so it is unsupervised learning. And the last one is reinforcement, wherein it is like they learn by, let's say the childrens are given a set of fruits, and you just say them that apples look something like this and mangoes look something like this, and you leave remaining to them, and they learn basis on their you know interaction or on their experience and feedback, which is something called as reinforcement. So these are the three types of machine learning, I would say, which are major. And next, jumping into the high level overview about how each one of them fit into layers. As I said, on the top is AI, which refers to development of computer system to perform tasks that is nearly equal to human intelligence. And comes to machine learning, which we saw, it is a subset of AI that enables computer to learn from the experience or the data. Then comes the deep learning. So deep learning is not something new, it is again a subset of ML. But how it is different is, uh, every decisions that we take, assume that it has a tree. You say like the milk is there, and you want to decide whether the milk is good or bad. You start with the expiry date. So if the expiry date is the current date is greater than the expiry date, it is already spoiled. If not, no, then you go with the next smell test. So you keep on traversing like a tree. Let's say you are doing a decision, you are using a decision making algorithm. In this case for the model, then it involves multiple layers basis on the depth of the tree that you have. So all these layers might be different. If the model is having huge layers, it is I would say complex model. If it is having simple layer, if it is a small model, then it will have a simple layers. And these layers are something that we associate with the layers in human brain, and that's one of the reason why they call it as neural networks. And deep learning is again one of the subset of ML. Now we know all these three. What is generative AI? Let's say until now, we did a lot of things. We saw what is model and what is ML and what is AI, but we didn't get anything as an output, which is something created as a content, or it's something generated by itself. We just got the response for our questions. But what if there is a kind of a intelligence which gives you kind of content which is created for you? Let's say you ask for something to create a image of a cat which is sitting on a tree. Then it gives a near to what you are asking, but it is creating it for you. So it is creating a image basis on your prompt, or it is giving the response basis on your request. So if you are getting something as a output, as a image or a text or a video audio, which is a new content or created by the system, then we call it as generative AI. So that's why we always hear the term generative AI, and that's why they have associated the word generative along with AI. It's not just AI, it is generative AI. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. So as mentioned here, generative AI is a subset of deep learning that generates contents like text, images, code, or any sort of contents. So we saw model, and as I said, keep model as think model from high level as a formula. Let's say here, if you see a formula y is equal to f of x. Similarly, you can create a model which has a different algorithm, statistical algorithm, as I said, decision tree or linear algorithm. It depends on what kind of algorithm you choose for your model to train, and you are just passing the input, and the model or the algorithm gives the output on the basis of the input and on the basis of the data that it has learned. So that's something that you need to understand what is model from the high level. And there are two types of model: traditional and foundational model. So traditional AI models are something that train for single purpose. As I said, if you're training something specifically for a specific use case, like filtering spam emails from your inbox, these kind of models are traditional models. But foundational models are very generic, and it's a foundation for most of the generic models. So that's why it is trained on massive data, which is like it can be type of text, images, or code. So next one is large language model. So we saw what is foundational model and traditional model. So large language model is one of the type of, I would say, foundational model, and it is named as large language model because you're training it with large set of data. Then there are a couple of other models that were in past, like BERT by Google and couple of other models. But the current models that Google has, the Gemini, those are the latest large language models when compared to others. So the foundational models that Google currently has in the stack are Imagen, which is used to generate image, and VO, which is used to generate the video on the basis of the input. And they have Gemini, which is the Google's, I would say the family of LLMs. When I say family, it has a lot of variations like 2.5 flashlight, flash, pro. It depends on the use case. If you want complex reasoning model, then you go with 2.5. And if you want optimized version where you're okay with the performance, they go with light and different options based on the requirement. So we have heard about lot about Gen AI and lot of things, but how the Gen AI stack look like? What is generative AI, Gen AI applications? There are a lot of uh, uh, you know tools, I would say, or applications that has come. Like the common one that we are using, the Gemini app or the Chat GPT app. All these are called as GenAI applications. Why are they called as GenAI applications? Because you can't talk to the LLM or the foundational model directly, you need an interface to talk to them. So in order to give you that interface to talk to them, either you might be using Gemini portal or Gemini app, and you might be sending the prompt, and the model, foundational model behind it, will be responding back to your request. So that's how I'm, categorizing here. Like application, it's where your chatbot or your all those interfaces, code assist will come, and backend is where all the foundational models will come. And I'm not going to go deep into this. So all the foundation, most of the foundational models that you are seeing currently, the Gemini or the GPT models, they all work on the architecture called transformer architecture. And transformer architectures has mainly the encoding and decoding components. They mainly help you to encode and push the input to the pattern or the algorithm, which gives you the results, and later you get the output from the decoding component. So I'm not going to deep dive into it, but just keep in mind transformers architecture is something it's widely used across the foundational models. Then just a I would say hierarchy or the evolution. I would say evolution of Google's LLM started with BERT, bidirectional encoder representations from transformer, then lambda, then we went with Palm. Now we are in the era of Gemini. So this is just the evolution of how Google went through. So what is Vertex AI now? So we have a lot of things, but we don't have a platform where we can do all of them in one place. So when I say all of them in one place, how to train a model, you want a lot of things to do it. If you want to test a model, then if you want to deploy the model as a application, you want a specific interface, you want infrastructure, you want compute, you want storage. So there are a lot of things if you want to implement this as a user or as a developer. So in order to do that, if you keep spending time and money across building this platform, it's going to be too much time consuming, and that's where Vertex AI, which is a PaaS solution from Google, helps you to ease out this process, and they give you the platform to train, test, deploy, and monitor your model. And let's take a simple high level overview of how Vertex AI will work like. It has a prompt interface wherein you give the prompt, and it has a responsible AI layer where it takes care of checking the safety and other important things. And there comes the foundational model, which is Gemini or whatever model that you want. Vertex AI also supports the third party models as well, like Anthropic and couple of other models. You can use them as well. You can select, I'll show you from Vertex AI portal, and it goes to the model customization where you can customize few things, and from there it comes to the citation check, and again it comes back to the safety layer where it checks the response whether it falls under the proper safety or responsible AI frameworks are involved into it even before giving the response to the user. So it's a high level of how GenAI works within the Vertex AI platform. So how Vertex AI Studio looks like, this is how it looks like. You go to the Google Cloud console, and you see search bars, search as Vertex AI. It comes to the place wherein you can see this. It has an overview section. It has model garden where you can see pre-trained models. You have prompt management, tuning. So I'll show you in the console in just 2 to 3 minutes. That will give you some idea. Uh, yeah, and yeah, so this is the one which I was trying to tell you that I'll show you in the console. So then, if you take the close look here, the right hand side, you can select the model. If you click on switch model, you can switch into any kind of model that we saw, or you can also use the third party models, or you can try to come up with your own customized model. So that is something which is really cool from Vertex AI point of view. And the next one is you can also tweak some of the options, like you can do grounding for your response using Google search, or you can structure your output as a JSON. Couple of options are there you can try out. And yeah, apart from that, yeah, I would suggest you can take a look of Vertex AI in case if you're trying for the first time. Go and see if you can play around with prompt management, or if you can do some image editing, or you can try train models from the model garden. That is one of the good starting point, I would say. Then apart from that, you can see a lot of labs which are part of Google Cloud Skill Boost. You go to Google Cloud Skill Boost and you can search for Vertex AI. There are a lot of courses and labs across Vertex AI, how to build an application with Vertex AI or a model with Vertex AI. That would be a good starting point if you are a beginner. And there is also something called as Google Code Labs, which has a lot of POCs or projects wherein you can just try it and see if you can try to achieve the same output and understand how each and every projects or modules work within the Vertex AI. So this is a quick thing that I would like to cover. Hope you got a gist about what is Vertex AI and what is the rationale behind the foundational model and AI, Gen AI models and couple of other machine learning concepts. Please do reach out to me. As I said in the initial, call, I said like I'm happy to learn from you and share. I'm sure definitely you might have a lot of doubts that you would like to, ask about this particular session. Feel free to reach out to me over LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect with you guys, learn and share. And in case if you want to also try out something on Google, I'm happy to help you out to get a limited Google Cloud credits that you can try and learn. Yeah, that's it from my side today. And once again, I would like to thank the whole team for organizing such a wonderful session. Thank you.
So biggest thanks. I stop recording. Thank